All right. Thanks, Grace. Thanks for having us. And it's really nice to have the opportunity to speak to such an interesting audience in a nice atmosphere. So before introducing ourselves, I just share my screen. So make sure that we are everyone on the same page. And then we jump right into the presentation. All right. Can everyone see the screen, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's really nice. All right, I think we could start. Yeah, Veronica, presenting a little bit about ourselves and who we are and why we love the product discovery. Yeah.
Yeah, so hi everyone. First of all, yeah, I also really encourage you to go to Miro. In the meantime, we'll meet there in a couple of minutes. So warm greetings, or maybe cold greetings from Warsaw, and good evening. We have 6 p.m. here. So my name is Weronika Kościelniak, and I'm a product manager. Previously I was responsible for the product that had more than 1 million users. I was a head of product, then I switched to the data company, and I was a product owner then. And then finally, a year ago, I joined Startup Development House, and now I am happily consulting, helping other product managers, product owners, and CEOs. My field of expertise is design thinking. We'll be speaking about that today a lot. And I'm responsible for creating personalized product discoveries, and I would like to share the knowledge with you. So, good. Yeah, Felipe, you
All
can
right.
now.
Yep.
Mike.
Thank you, Veronica. So quickly about myself, and then we can jump right into it. So my name is Felipe Rebello. I am Brazilian, and actually I'm living in Poland since 2012, so quite a long time. And even though I have a technical background, I found my passion on business development and the innovation process. So I had a chance to work for 6 years as a product owner for a web application in the transport and logistic industry. So that experience give me the real feeling how it is, the pluses and the minuses, the glories and the pains of creating a new solution in partnership with a software house. And that experience kind of introduced me to product discovery. And I felt passion right into it, how creative we can be and the risks it mitigates. And today, my responsibilities as business development and account manager here in the Startup Development House, it's basically to align the expectations between our clients and the product managers when it comes to deliverables, timeline, budget, and resources. Yeah. And because of that, today I work closely with Veronica and the discovery team to not only keep this alignment happening throughout the projects that we conduct, but also to make sure that we are implementing what we learn in each and every project. So, all right, let's jump right into it. And very quickly about the Startup House. So as Veronica was saying, we are in Poland, we are in Warsaw. We cover basically the 3 big steps on product development, starting from, well, the product discovery itself, jumping from the MVP development, and later on, some customers of ours, they already have their products up and running, and we can help with developers. So some quick numbers, we are 4 years in the market, more or less 65 projects, and our team today is around 6 employees. And what most importantly, we've conducted 11 product discovery in the past 12 months. So those were a little bit where our customers are located. And now a little bit of our experience. Yes. So about those 11 product discoveries that we've conducted, well, 4 of them, we killed the idea. That happens. So 7 of them passed the test. 4 of them had already a prototype at the beginning. So I'm just showing these numbers to have an idea of different people, different companies, different visionaries, different entrepreneurs. They are in different stages. Yeah. So we try to understand in which stage every person is. So 2 of them, they already had conducted user interviews previously, and 9 didn't. Only 1 of them had a solid business plan, or a canvas business model in this case. So as you can see, it's not necessary, it's not something required. And 6 of them had already a pitch deck, actually a really nice pitch deck. So it really depends on the situation. And basically all this presentation is based on this 11 projects that we conducted. So moving forward, in a nutshell, what you learned today. So as Grace was already saying, so what is it? What is product discovery? What are the risks if you're not running it? What are the benefits? Who should run it? How the process looks like? what kind of skills you need if you want to run your own product discovery, you want to create your team, gather the people. So what skills are you looking at for? And we'll wrap up the end with common mistakes and best practices, following with the Q&A, right? All right, so
yes,
I
let's
pass to
meet.
Veronica.
Yeah, so I can see already that some of you already showed us where they are from. So please, yeah, grab a pin and put a pin to the location that you are currently located. As you see, we can see some people from Poland, only 3. So yeah, the Brazil is occupied
Only one South America.
By Felipe. Yeah, so as you can see, and also
this
we
is
are
Panama.
maybe
I think it's Panama.
So also why we wanted to show you Miro, it's because we are using for every remote workshop this tool. Of course, there are many whiteboards there. You can use software you like, but we really like this one. We are always trying to engage the group. So now we're using Miro for internal meetings with clients, running workshops, even for user testing. You will see we'll be speaking about that. This is pretty pretty straightforward software. Yeah, if I don't think that we run out of pins, but if yes, then Control-C, Control-V. Okay, cool. So
all right.
We shared what are our roles and occupations. So now please go a bit, scroll down, and you can see the charts, the sections, and please write your name under the section that represents your role the most. If there is something missing, and for sure there is, please go to the last section, other, write your name, and then dash after dash your occupation. If we run out of sticky notes, just copy paste them. There you see there were some examples. Cool.
All right.
Managers. We have even our CEO, Alex. Okay.
Wow, there's many CEOs. This is really nice. Product managers, we have 4.
2 designers.
Oh, there's more business developer fellows. Hey.
Okay. Any other occupation? What you can see, Felipe? I cannot.
And there we don't have developers today. All right. I see that, I don't know how to pronounce it. It's Yele or Jella. It's also business development. We have Evelina, HR, and we have many CEOs. Team, Steve, Alex, Ala, Dimitris, Rachel. So yeah, great. All right.
Yeah.
I think we can jump to the next one, right?
Yes, and we would like to create a survey. So can you please answer the question, have you ever participated in a complete product discovery? Yeah, grab a star that is on the right side and place it under yes, no, or maybe you have never heard about product discovery. We'll see. Okay.
Oh, wow. Wait, okay. What's happening?
Someone stole the no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the pro tip is block your icons on, or these sections on Miro, what we haven't done.
Okay. Yeah, we forgot to we can come back here with the what is that? And yeah, I see that yes is winning, no is in the second place, and then what is that? Just 2 stars there. There is a dot. What is that? All right. No, there's just 2 stars. Cool. This is really nice. So it's a very balanced group, I see. So it's people that I understand if they put the no, they know what is it, but they just haven't yet participated. Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thanks everyone. It's really nice. This is a bit of the feeling how it feels like to participate in a remote workshop. Of course, usually it takes 6 hours long. Yeah, this is a 5-minute experience, but still. Right. So let's jump right into it. So in which moment the product discovery makes sense to speak about. So when we look at the classic life cycle of a digital product, the classic introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. So even though that product discovery, it's a continuous process that you can do in all of those 4 stages. Today in this presentation, we'll focus only on the beginning, only when there is the idea, on the conception, very, very, very early stages of the future possible product. Another way to look at it is on the 3 big stages of development. This is also a different way to look at it. So we have the product discovery, and then the MVP development and the commercial product. I'm pretty sure that most of you knows about it. And we would love to speak about the last stage, but today is not about that. We would love to speak about MVP development. There's so many tricks and tips we could give about it, but also we'll not speak about that. Today, we'll only speak about product discovery, which is the beginning, right? And now why? What's the reason behind it? Why does it make sense? So basically, there's 2 big areas. There's the quest for the innovation and the risk mitigation. So Weronika, if you could elaborate, please, a little bit on the first one.
Yeah, so we are doing the product discovery for upgrading the idea that someone is approaching us with. So we want to take this idea and go with to another level with that. And in order to do that, we need to be creative, and also we need to be very open. And we believe that creativity is a process, and everyone is creative, because it's you can boost your creativity, you can boost the creativity of your team. You just need to know the exercises, the techniques. My favorite book for that is Thinker Toys. You can grab this book and learn so many different ways of, for example, brainstorming. You can inspire group. It's a super cool book. And also, we think that that the best product and services are not the result of some kind of illuminated dream. It's a hard work. It's a hard process of creating as many ideas as possible, then testing them with users and iterating, running experiments. And during that process, you need to be very open and listen what kind of signals you are being given by the market, by the users. And the metaphor for that is this picture on the right. So in the 19th century, the Alexander Bell, he wanted to invent a hearing aid because he was a speech therapist and a music teacher. But instead of that, he invented telephone. And we want to be also like this. So we want to have our vision, but we want to be very open and very delicate while listening to our users in order to pivot in the when it's needed. So this is the first reason to do the product discovery, is to uplift the idea by looking for innovation.
Right. Yeah. So when we look to the second one, which is risk mitigation, there are 4 big risks that the product discovery can mitigate. And here we'll quickly jump in one by one. So in the left side in the red, you see the risk. And on the right side in blue, you'll see a couple of techniques that we can use within the product discovery to mitigate that risk. So the first one is the classic one, is the most complex risk, which is the value risk. Is it a problem worth solving? Is the problem that I'm trying to solve relevant enough that people are touched enough that they want to use it or eventually buy it? So there are several techniques we can use in the product discovery to try to mitigate that risk, which could run for user interviews or human MVP, landing pages, and there's several more. So the second risk is the usability risk. Is it easy to use? Because even though that, okay, you found a problem worth solving, but the solution you're proposing is complex and people are not understanding how to use it. That's also a risk. And the classic way, I'm pretty sure everyone here have heard about it and see it and also used it, the old and good prototype. Yes, so today we'll speak a lot about this as well, and you can test with user testing. And the third risk is the feasibility risk. Can you build it? So even though the problem is relevant, the solution you create is, or you envision, it's easy to use, but you don't have the capability to build it. Maybe your team doesn't have the technical skills to build it, or maybe it's too complex to build in the time frame that you are envisioning. So this risk you can also mitigate with the product discovery through techniques like the POC and the sketching the software architecture previously, and involving developers and software architectures in the beginning of the process, not only after the designs are done. And last but not least, the business risk. Can you make money with it? So there are different ways of thinking about it. Some people have more time. They have some investments, for instance, for the first 24 months. They don't have to make great revenue only after they can. So it really depends, but this is something that you can think about during the product discovery, doing financial simulations, some forecasts, alignment with stakeholders, and many, many more. So it's important to bear these 4 risks in mind in alignment with the innovation component that Weronika was speaking previously. Yeah.
Yep. And now we would like to tell you more about who to invite to your product discovery process. So it's the most important part is to build the interdisciplinary team, because we all know that all of us as a team are smarter than any of us, and that's why we need a different skill set in order to conduct a good product discovery. So here you can see 3 different roles and a team. So the first one is facilitator, is someone who will facilitate a group, who will run workshops, who will design workshops, who will rise the energy of group, and someone who actually he or she doesn't have to bring any content. He or she just need to think about the next step for a group, need to ask good questions, boost innovation and creativity. And mostly what we're seeing is that the product designer can be a facilitator, the product owner, or just CEO if he or she has the skill set. The second person is that is needed is, as Felipe was saying, those product discoveries can last for even 3 months. So we need someone who would take care of timeline, the budget, organize the meetings, invite people when for the separate sections. So we need to have a role to take care of that. And the last person is the super decider. Of course, we need to have someone who, when the group will stuck, we need someone who will have the last choice and will decide and take responsibility on the direction of our product or service. Of course, everything depends, because if you do not have a possibility to have 3 different people, you can, for example, you can join the facilitator role with the project management. It's possible. We also sometimes doing this, and there is a team that we need, but this team and those members are being invited in the different stages of product discovery. So for sure, we need someone who knows users, and we are sometimes even inviting users for the workshops. You can do, we often dividing workshops into 2 parts, and we are inviting users for the first part, and they are telling us about their journeys. They are telling us about their pains and gains, and then when they go, we are jumping into conclude. We are summarizing and deciding, prioritizing which pains and gains are the most important from our perspective. But so you have 2 ways. You can invite user or someone who knows the user. You need a field experts, because you need a fresh insight what is going on in the industry that you would like to innovate in. You need a tech expert, as Felipe said. Those people are important, first of all, because they can generate very good ideas, and also they can raise the red flag when they will see that, for example, the product that we are trying to design will not be feasible, will not be doable, or just will be very expensive. So we are often inviting tech experts at the end of when we are shaping the product, so they are close to the user story mapping part. And the fourth person that is here is the creative type. So we need someone who will think out of the box and will be creating a new scenarios, new worlds. And it's very good to invite such a person to the ideation part. So, but of course, everything depends on the product scope, on the project that you are working on, the industry that you are within. But this is the ideal scenario, to have those three roles and the other people that are around, and you are all creating the big team for product discovery.
And Veronica, can the facilitator and the product manager be the same person?
Yes, yeah, like I mentioned, it can be, but the ideal scenario is when we divide those roles, because then the facilitator can really concentrate on the group. Are they achieving their goals that they stated at the very beginning or not? So it's good to have facilitator, but of course you can join those roles.
Yeah, if I would just add something in the team composition, we had the situations last year where the investor was taking part in some moments on the product discovery, not all the time, but it's something very interesting because it gives a different perspective for the whole process. When you have really the one or two investors that are really believing in the solution or really believing usually in the team, because ideas in the initial stages, what we see is that investors, they look at the team. The team is the first place. It's much more important than anything else. And of course, there is the market in the second place. All right, so now the good part. What does it look like?
Yeah, here we just want to emphasize that we are using two methodologies that are globally known. So we would just mention them. So first is design thinking that we are using for 80%, I think, of the product discovery, and then the lean startup. Lean startup we are using when the product is shaped and we are starting thinking about the metrics. But yeah, I think that it's the only what we want to emphasize is that those two names, so you have in mind, but they are so well known that we can proceed because it's.
There, one thing that I would like to in addition here is that we've seen the last year that when there is a transition from the design thinking to the lean startup, this is the moment when we finally can start thinking about how much it will cost to build the solution, right? Because this is the question that often we receive every day: how much it costs to build, or how long does it take to build? And the answer is, well, we don't know. Yeah, without a discovery, we don't know. And when we will know in this transition. So this is the interesting part. Yeah, when you do the transition, you start thinking about the measuring, learn, and build, and then these numbers start coming. Okay.
Yeah, and now I think that that's the most important part. So what are the elements of the product discovery? So we divided them into 4 parts. So there is analysis, workshops, user testing, and design. So the first part, analysis, is the part that you can do individually. You can divide the work in your group, and you can do the desk research or field research, and then gather together and summarize, underline what kind of conclusions you are having. So for example, when we cannot do the field research, because we are always trying to do that at first, when we are working with a warehouse startup that they are trying to design a app for warehouse, we are going to the warehouse. When we were cooperating with a fish farm startup from Scandinavia, then we couldn't go to see the fish farms, but we are watching a bunch of YouTube videos, analyzing what the people are wearing when they are working. Do they have gloves or not? How they operating the phone? Because we need to know as much as possible about the personas and our problems that we want to solve. You of course need to do the market research, so compare competitors. Know how big is the market, how what kind of purchase power the user segment has. So this is what we are doing at the very beginning, even before designing the workshops. We are also, it's very important to have one repository for documents. We can do that, and we are doing that in Miro actually, because it's also the good way for then interpreting the results. And then we starting workshops. Workshops are You can divide them in three parts, so 3 meetings, but we encourage you to do the at least one day a break between those days, because you need to reflect upon your results. So the first day is can be focused on the user. So we are deciding and analyzing what are his biggest goals, pains. So we are doing the jobs to be done. And analyzing the work of the whole day of the user. So this is the whole, we are often spending the whole one day on getting to know our persona. After that, we of course we are prioritizing the needs that we want to fulfill, and then we can start brainstorming. As we know, in the design thinking, definition is very important. So we need to know what kind of challenge we are resolving. We need to have this workshop challenge and our product discovery challenge defined well. So, and then we can start with generating ideas. As we know, the first part is the number is the most important, and then after the end we are choosing the best ones. And when we have chosen the best ideas, we know what are the needs that we want to fulfill. We can start scoping the product. So we are choosing the features that we want to develop in this minimum valuable product, the first version, having two criteria is in our minds. So the first is that we will really fulfill the needs and resolve the problems of our users, and we achieve our business goals. And having that in mind, we are gathering and we are choosing the features that we think that need to be validated in the first part, so in the MVP. And then so we have you can now imagine that you have this product shaped. Then actually we are taking this orange step. So we are producing with our designers low fidelity prototype, and you can do that on your own using balsamic or other software tools for creating low fidelity prototypes. But it's important to shape this, so you see the whole workflow of the user, where the information architecture. So you can see the app actually, and then you are taking this and going to present to your personas. And user testing is the most important part. It's something that you cannot omit in the whole product discovery. Is the most exciting part. It's the real validation of your idea, and that will tell you, can you move forward, or you need to take one or two steps back. User testing is very important, but we know from our experience that the big challenge is to recruit the users. So it's good to think about recruiting the users even on the workshop stage. You can look for them by your own, publish posts on social media. You can hire a company for that. And then when you have those users, at least 5 of them, you can run one-on-one meetings and user interviews. We using Lookback, but there are a bunch of good softwares. You can use Meet, you can use Zoom, but record the session. So after that, you can create a report, and you can show the report to the whole team, and then you will decide how, or even if you are changing the product. You can, so this is the one-on-one, we are doing that. And you can also do automatic testing or run a service, but the most valuable are the mixed ways. So do some meetings with potential users, and you can run automatic survey as well. So after this point, you will know is the problem that we are solving real, because this is very important, that we need to be sure that we are resolving real problems. And if yes, then also the second question that we need to answer is, does the user understand our app? And so we know that usability is good. If we have 2 answers positive, then we can go to the next part of design and make the UI part and create the high fidelity prototype. And having that, you are limiting your risks, the 4 risks that Felipe mentioned, because you already showed that to users, you can show that to investors. So this is something that is really working for us. And yeah, Felipe, do you want to add something? Because this is the most important.
Yeah, those are the components. And how much time, Veronica, this whole process takes?
Yeah, so around 2 months, I would say, but the crucial part is this user testing. As I said, you need to plan that in advance, because it's when you want to talk with more than 5 people, organizing meetings can last more than even 2 weeks. So if you think about that upfront, and it can last 2 weeks, 2 months, sorry, the whole process. And unless you want to, you need to take step back and maybe look for different ideas, because it's also possible, because we need to remember that we want to be open as Alexander Bell when he was inventing telephone.
Yeah, I would like to highlight here a couple of things. When you want to organize your product discovery, and you are kind of planning your time, you're planning the time of your team, and you're scheduling the meetings. So one nice breakdown of those 4 elements is 40% of time design, 20% of time user testing, 20% of time workshops, and the remaining for the analysis. So this breakdown, it's very realistic. But of course, each product discovery is different. So sometimes we run product discoveries with a bit more user testing because necessary, and then the percentage of the design compared to the whole, they change. But for sure, most of the time, I would say 90% of the time, design is, by and large, design is the component that will most take time, right? And what else? Product scoping, the third pink circle. So that's also something very, very important. I would say one of the most important parts after user testing, because as Veronica was saying, user testing is very important. But the product scoping, this is the moment where the developers will participate. If there will be more tech people around, they should also participate. And this is the moment that we should think about, all right, so we know more or less the direction of the product, but how far should the MVP be? How big the scope of the MVP should be, right? Should we develop it in 2 months, 3 or 4? So these decisions, they happen during this workshop and around this workshop, and it's very important to have in mind how much you can invest. Yeah, so if you have X amount of investments, so the strategy is A. If you have a double of that, say the strategy is B. So it's really you have to balance information you gather during the product discovery plus possibilities of investment, and then decide on that. All right. So
Felipe, if I may, one important thing I would like to add to the user testing. So please remember, do not invite friends and family for user
testing. Yes.
Because what we also are looking for is unbiased questions. So create a user interview scenario. Think about the questions that will not be answers, and ask the same questions to all of the users. And act as a researcher. So this is what we want to emphasize as well here in this user testing part.
Yeah, about this, I will share now in our chat for everyone a book, very nice. It's called the Mom Test book, and it's, if someone is interested in how to speak with your target audience about your idea without opening the idea, is there. Wait, someone wrote something. Yeah, great book. Analysis 20, workshop 20, user test 20, design 40. Right, yes. More or less, that's the breakdown in terms of time. And this book, it's super interesting the way it describes how you should speak with your target audience without opening the idea, right? Because you don't want to say, hey, I have a great idea. So if you do this, it's already wrong. So you should start very, very gently and search for the needs without opening the idea. Veronica, is something else here, or we could maybe jump to Miro, yeah?
Yes, we can. Yeah, we are really curious. What are your challenges in product discovery? So we can meet in Miro for a couple of minutes, or
yeah, we can maybe read. Yeah, let's read the potential challenges.
Yes.
So we put some of them here. For example, framing the problem, choosing early adopters, workshop facilitating, prototyping, user interviews, pivoting, MVP scoping, MVP cost estimation, product roadmap, and budget definition. We would like to know what is your biggest challenge, where you are most interested in. So if you could please take the blue star and land it close to the area where you feel more, that's the subject that it's more interesting for you. Okay.
Choosing early adopters. Yeah, this is.
Product roadmap, 2 of them. Prototyping, there's 3. All right.
Yeah, we'll touch those topics during the best practices and common mistakes sections. Yeah, so what, Felipe, you are doing with these emojis?
Yes, I'll put a star if my computer is fast enough, because as you can see, I'm clicking and nothing is happening, so I don't know what's happening. I was going to put a star on the choosing early adopters because it's a winner. Someone already did it, so thank you very much. And actually, user interviews. All right, so what if syncing? Please waiting. Okay. I don't know what is happening. All right. What if we go to the best practices, we cover those quickly, and then we come back here, and then we do QA and we talk with the audience.
Yes, we will check. We will check if we covered all the topics.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So now that we covered what is it and so on, let's go to a little bit of the practical guide that we promised in the beginning. So we after this 11 processes, we gather the 7 mistakes that we see, well, it's happening most commonly, and we will describe them here one by one. So the first one, believing that product discovery will validate your idea. This is very classic. Yeah, actually, the product discovery will uncover the truth about your idea. Yeah, so it can validate it or kill it. And it's all right if something is not working. It's just the learning curve, right? What else? Jumping to solutions before nailing down real user problems. So this is also something we often see happening. So, wow, I have an idea and this is it, and this will work. Okay, so what problem are you trying to solve? No, I don't know. This is the idea. So, okay, so let's give 2 steps back and let's first analyze the problem and let's come back to the solution in a later stage, because it's very difficult to pivot in the problem, right? So, it's easier to pivot in the solution, but pivoting the problem, it's really not intuitive.
So don't look for users for your solution. Just we are starting with the user. As design thinking is preaching, we're having the user, then we are choosing the problem, and then we are ideating.
Right. Okay, third, believing that if you have a problem, you're also a user. So that also happens a couple of times. Yeah, we believe that is a really nice way to start the process. Yeah, if you have also the problem, whatever it is that you want to solve, and then it's a very good starting point. It's very inspirational, but also it's very important then to try to find the same pattern in order groups to see if it replicates. And not only take into consideration that if you are a user, okay, so I'll buy my product, I need to work, right? Trying to sell the solution during the product discovery. Also, it won't work. Product discovery, it's not a sales process. We're not here to convince anyone of anything. We are just listeners, observers, and learners. Yeah, so it's a very methodical process. As Veronica was saying, we should act as scientists. And we have a hypothesis we test, and we see evidence, and we see if it's true or not, but not try to push it. Don't try to push it. So not knowing what you want to learn with the tests, we saw sometimes this happening. So imagine that you are conducting 10 user testing. So, but if you don't have a plan exactly what you want to learn in each one of them, after these tests, you have maybe an intuitive feeling about, okay, test number 1, 3, and 5, I felt really good about those tests. But the test 3, 7, I didn't feel so good about that. But if you just stay on the instinct, on the feeling, you cannot compare them in a methodical way. So it's very important to know what you are testing. So focusing on features instead of value, this is a classic one. Yeah, sometimes we had situations last year. Yeah, all right, I want to build a product with feature A, B, C, and D. Okay, and then we ask question why. So let's understand the why. And then sometimes there is a problem to jump from, okay, why I want to do this feature? Because it's nice. Okay, but let's dig deeper. Let's understand how this feature is delivering value. The bridge that connects feature with value, it's not easy to connect this bridge, but if you conduct the product discovery, this connection between these two areas, it becomes more clear, and you can make decisions based on real data. And not involving engineers in the discovery process. So also this is classic. We truly believe, especially for digital solutions, which is the case, the best solutions, they are appearing and they're being created when engineers participate in the process, because they also have great ideas. Developers are also very creative people. When they work in synergy and harmony with the product managers, investors, and the designers, we see this connection working pretty well. Yeah, so these are the 7 scenes, let's say, our suggestions for not to do. And now let's go for what to do, the best practices. So, okay, write down what motivates you to solve this problem. The reasons is the following. If you will find out in the middle of the way that your solution is not fitting to the problem, if you are not in love with the problem, you will feel demotivated, and that is not nice. So we saw that happening a couple of times. So to avoid that feeling of demotivation, the way we found is try deeply to understand why you want to solve that problem. Because if your focus is to solve a problem, it doesn't matter what is the solution. It doesn't matter, and it brings to the second one: be flexible with your ideas and open to pivots. All right, no worries. If something is not working here, let's try to change. Let's see if it may be, well, there's so many possibilities here. Invite field experts and users and stakeholders to the workshop. As Veronica was saying, when we bring those people to the workshop, this knowledge is so important to open the eyes for different possibilities. That it must be. It's a best practice that we really believe in. Research the competition, benchmark for the industries. This is more connected to the ideation phase that Veronica was also showing. So often the inspiration comes for other industries. So if you're going to innovate, I don't know, in the food tech, you have an idea to do something in the food tech, maybe the innovation is in med tech or in fintech, or I don't know, or out of the digital world. Yes, so that's why we love so much this thinker toys, which it's a lot of lateral thinking and different techniques on how to use creativity in different ways. Is it okay if the users are giving ideas for the solution? Should we consider those suggestions during MVP scoping? Well, the answer is yes, we should consider it, but not. Well, that's what I think. Veronica, you can help me here.
They are being put to the idea backlog, and we can vote on them as the ideas that also we generated. Yes, so as during the ideation phase, as many ideas as possible. This is our motto, and then we are having those criteria that we also stated at the very beginning, even before starting brainstorming, and then we put we are voting on them, deciding are they valid or not. So
yeah. But what I would suggest is just like it's not because one user is saying something, it doesn't mean that we should right away implement it, right? So we are looking for patterns, a pattern that is repeating continuously through a sequence of user interviews. For instance, if you're conducting 5-10 user interviews, that's a very nice number, and you see something is repeating all the time similarly, all right, you have something, yeah. But if you have very different answers in 10 user interviews, very, very different, for instance, you don't find any pattern, then most probably you're not focusing that much in one target audience. Maybe you have 3 target audiences in your sample of users, and then you should be a bit more narrow, right? So which means here, have a clear vision who you want to help. Because if you have a group of different target audiences together, and you believe that's your group, so what connects everyone? What is the connection point that becomes a group that you want to help? Because maybe it's 1/3 of this group, or maybe it's 1/10 of this group that you actually want to help.
And maybe here we can answer the question how to choose early adopters, because that was important. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we have 4 criteria for that. So we are checking which segment, for which segment the problem that we are creating a solution for is the biggest. So which group has or they, for example, already using other softwares or products to resolve this problem. So this is the first criteria. Second is that we know channels to those segments and we can reach them. And the third one is how big is the market? So what is the potential? We are, of course, using the one that is the biggest. And also, what is the purchase power? So we are taking each segment and we are answering those 4 questions and then deciding which group is the best from the strategical point of view.
And that's why the analysis component, this first circle, remember, that's why analysis is so important, market analysis. So how big is the addressable market? What is the purchase power of the economical side of things? And their behavior today towards different products, how they are behaving today, what different products your potential target audience is using, and then you have a hypothesis. I think this is my early adopters, hypothesis, no worry. And then you go and test it, and you check if it maybe that's right. Let's keep testing, because there is always 3 hypotheses. The customer, problem, and solution. The customer and problem, they're very connected, and the solution is not so much connected. But even Uber had very specific early adopters, right?
Yeah, of course, that now they are reaching everyone, but they started from the group. They were concentrating on big cities, on the tech savvy people, but now everyone, and they were trying to resolve those problems. And now, but it doesn't mean that if you are concentrating on the small group, it doesn't mean that other users will be forbidden to use the product or service that you are designing. But it helps with the process, helps with with being concentrated and to design a better tool.
All right, so in 6th place we have here, if there are other similar and great solutions out there, why bother? This is a tricky one. It's a best practice that some people say that, no, but I want to do my version of the product. So this is a controversial, I would say, but this is true. Like, why reinvent the wheel? If there is a solution out there that's great, that's amazing, that is really solving people's problems, and it's nice, and it's sustainable, and it's why bother? But Weronika, you can help me here. There are other ways we can try to innovate. Maybe there's a solution. Maybe you can try to do it cheaper. Maybe you have an idea of innovating on the same product but the cheaper version. So that's interesting.
If you can provide lower costs, or you can differentiate, then it's you can think about competing. But if you cannot provide those two aspects, that will be very difficult. That will be red ocean.
That would be red ocean. So to wrap up here, this start small, think big. So we had several situations that people would like to, okay, I want to start with my app should be mobile, should be desktop, should be in the tablet as well, and mobile should be on the iOS and Android. And I want to target the audience A, B, C, and D, everything at the same time. So it's not possible. I mean, improbable that it will work. So we really suggest to start small, one target audience, early adopters, single problem focal point. All right, thinking big, but starting small. So we truly believe that that might happen. Okay, so I think we could jump to Miro.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think that
If my Miro will syncing, I have some syncing stuff here. Reload now. What is this?
So maybe in the meantime, I can encourage everyone to go, and at the bottom of our board there are questions that you want us to answer. I think I can see that some of us already voted. Yeah, please take a blue star and place under the question that you want us to answer. Yeah, the first one is how to choose early adopters. My product aims at solving several problems at the same time. How should I start? I want my product to target several audiences at the same time. Oh, this is not, it's something different. What if we will not find a market fit at the end of the project? How many people should be in the team? How to look for user interview candidates? Are there hidden costs in the product discovery? I already know my audience pretty well. Why do we need to run workshops then? How does the time allocation look like in product discovery? And I believe my product needs a mobile and desktop version. Where should I start? Okay, so.
Nice. This very even, I see. So maybe we could start, unless someone has a different question. Yeah, I see Shan wrote differentiation based on business model, maybe if not tech. Yeah, this is right. And usually the consequence of the business model innovation usually is the lower cost. Then you can lower the cost of, because of you have better partnerships, or you're producing something in a faster way or in a cheaper way. Oh, I see that. Okay, so how does the allocation time look like?
And so we can repeat, yeah, because this is something.
Yeah, I think I will write here. I think I'll write it here. So 40% design, right? 20% user interview. I will put, okay, user interview. 20% workshops, and 20% analysis. Okay, so I'll put A. This is only a suggestion, all right? So it really depends. I would say this is the average of our last 11 discovery processes. But again, there were edge cases where we have to go up in the user interviews or decrease design and so on. So this is here, right? So about yeah.
I was thinking that maybe we can try answer the question. My product aims at solving several problems at the same time. How should I start? Because it's got a lot of stars.
Wanna go ahead?
Yeah, I can try, of course. So as we said, and also we think that MVP, so this first product that you want to develop, it cannot be bigger than 3 months of development, because if it's bigger, it's still not, it's not MVP anymore. So you need to find the killer features that you think that will differentiate you from the competitors, or those features that you think that will really show what your product is about, and that they really solve the user's problems. So you need to, because as you remember, during the appantization part, we were getting to know the user, and we were listing the problems, and we were voting. And we already know after this part which problems are the biggest for the users, and we need to be sure that the features that we will choose will fulfill those needs and that will solve those problems. So this is how I would do that. Felipe, would you?
Yeah, there is, so what I would, in addition, one possible strategy that you can use in this situation is build the prototype, to build a prototype in a way that you are suggesting 3 possible flows to the user. Yeah, flow A, B, and C, solving different problems. Yeah, and check which flow is being checked first. So that's a way, for instance. Yeah, I think the testing is the most important. So if you are in between problem A and B, well, test both, see what happens. Or maybe there are these field experts. Maybe they have so much experience in the fields that they look at your question and they'll say, no, go to problem A, because I have 25 years of experience in this industry, and I truly believe that's the case. Then, well, that's also a way. So it's all about putting on the table the information you have, and then making a decision. Most important is making a decision, moving forward. Otherwise, we'll never have the answer for the question, right?
Maybe
Okay.
maybe answer as well this, are there any hidden costs, because it's
yeah, hidden costs. So when you're planning your product discovery, there are two things to bear in mind. Unpredictable things. First, the prototype. Yeah, it's that's why 40% of design, sometimes it could be 50% of design. So it's very difficult to predict how much time the designers will invest building the prototype, because we don't know how large the solution will be. We don't know how many screens, buttons, illustrations, drop-down menus. Whoa, there's so many opportunities and variations. So this is a hidden cost that we must bear in mind. And the second is, Weronika already touched that subject, which is inviting users, candidates, yeah, finding the users. So it might be very easy, it might be very difficult. So really, you have to try, test different ways. Yeah, Veronica was saying you can hire a consultancy just for hiring candidates for your interview. Yeah, it will be easier, but more expensive. So, but also you can go your own way. If you're in the US, you can post job advertisement on Craigslist, for instance. We have done this already. It works pretty well for some kind of audiences. In Scandinavia, you know, we try to look for user interviews on LinkedIn, right? On LinkedIn, we send messages to people and say, hey, look, we are conducting our user interview. Are you willing to join it? So very straightforward. So it really depends which country you're targeting and what is the profile. So usually if it's an application that is focused on the general public, on mass public, it's a little bit easier, yeah, to find those people. But if it's something very specific, yeah, maybe you're looking for managers in supermarkets, I don't know, right? Something like that. So then it maybe you can ask for indications, for friends. There is the companies or what is the name? Incubators or accelerators that they might help with contacts. But the important is no friends, no family. Otherwise, the questions will be answered. The answers will be biased.
And also secure budget for that, because it's really important to pay the user interviews for their time,
yes,
because it's like a consultancy. Yeah, they are investing 1 hour, 2 hour. So it's good to you can give the Amazon gift cards, you can pay them, but it's also important. But yeah, and if you know the your persona that you are targeting, then you can ask if you have a friend that is fitting this target, this description, do not conduct interview with him, but ask for his friends. Yeah, so someone that you do not have the that doesn't know you or your idea.
Okay, so I put here the prototype in recruiting candidates as hidden costs. All right.
Yeah,
cool.
and I think that
do we have time for more? How we are on the time, Erica and Grace? Should we proceed with more questions?
We should wrap up if possible.
All right. Yeah. I think it was really, really, really nice. This interaction, it was super cool. You know, we will take for sure a print screen of this and keep with us, share with you as well. Veronica, thank you for everything.
Yes, if I would only have to emphasize one part of product discovery, I would say user testing. Yeah, it's something that is the most important to do, and you cannot omit that.
Yeah, if there's one final piece of advice that connected with user testing as well, is not interviewing the friends and family, because biased answer is really not what we are looking for. So yeah, I think we are synced in that, Veronica.
Wonderful. Thank
Cool.
you guys so much. This was really cool, and we've never used a Miro board like this before, so I think we might start incorporating this because people clearly loved it. So thank you for showing us and teaching us and spending your time with us, and thank you for everyone joining, and we hope to see you all soon.
Thank you for having us.
All right, have a good rest of your evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.